The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
So a few years back, my friend Gordon Hester, who's a guy that I met on the internet, said, "Hey, do you want to have dinner with Hicks and Gracie?" Yeah. So I said, "Fuck yeah, man! If you are a jiu-jitsu practitioner, it's very rare in a sport. I guess there's a few sports like if you think bike racing, you think Lance Armstrong. Unfortunately now, but that's the name. But the universal name that gets thrown about in jiu-jitsu, there's the last name, which is Gracie. And then once you get to know jiu-jitsu and you understand jiu-jitsu and you start training, everybody always wants to know who's the best, who's the best. Universally regarded as the all-time best is your father, Hicks and Gracie. There's not much debate amongst jiu-jitsu people. There's debate as to who's the best right now, but I talked to Henzo about this one time, and Henzo just shook his head. He goes, "He's a motherfucker." He's a motherfucker. He's just laughing. He's like, he's the best. And when a guy like Henzo says something, I just listen. You know?
Me too.
So what is it? That's when I met you. You were with your dad, and we went and had some dinner, and then we went back to your house, and we watched some fights, which was amazing to have your dad break down what guys are doing wrong and what's wrong with their positioning, what's wrong with their approach, and what his approach is. And for me, as a student of martial arts and as a fan of martial arts, it was a huge honor, And you were, I think, were you like 16 or 17 back then?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, you were into rap music and all kinds of different shit. And so from that, I've run into a few times over the years when Hoist fought Matt Hughes and a couple other times. You've become yourself like one of the most prominent jiu-jitsu fighters in the world today. And that's so cool to see. It's so cool to see a young kid with aspirations and then put in the work. And it's also cool to see the son of a great man become a great man himself, which is very difficult. And it doesn't really happen that often. A lot of times the son of a great man lives in the shadow of his father and sort of falls short. But you, in your young life, you're 25 now?
25. In
your young life, you've already carved out a great name in jiu-jitsu with your own accomplishments. You're widely considered to be amongst the very best in the world at jiu-jitsu. And how does that feel?
It feels great, now finally, after so long of, because I knew when I was a little kid that I was going to have to be a fighter or be a martial artist. And
have to.
Yeah, I mean, have to, really. As much as my dad wants to make it feel like he didn't put pressure on me, and he did. People say he teaches invisible jiu-jitsu. Well, I'll talk about invisible pressure. At an early age, when I'm a little kid, I can kind of always see, how much my dad trains and how big he is a part of what he does in the world and how much people respect him and how much recognition he gets. So from a very early age, you want to replicate that and you want to do, what your father does if it feels like cool to you. And it's always been really cool to me. Of course, when I was younger, up until 12 years old, I used to skate a lot and jiu-jitsu was kind of whatever. But I knew that in the future that was what I was going to have to do no matter what. So it came to a point where I kind of put skateboarding aside, and I had gotten hurt skateboarding a bunch of times, and I was like, you know what, I don't care about skateboarding as much as I do jiu-jitsu. I'm not going to be as good as a skateboarder as I can be with jiu-jitsu, which this kind of all clicked for me. One day with my brother, we were talking and everything, and this was one of the last conversations we had, and he was always like, Kron, you could, whatever you do in life, you do it 100%. You do it the best you can do it. If you're gonna be a dentist, you be the best dentist. If you can be a skateboarder, you be the best skateboarder. But the only difference is right here, you have an opportunity to do jiu-jitsu, and you have the best road, you have the best dad as a coach, you have the best, all the tools you need to really be the best you can be. and it would be stupid for you not to really take advantage of this. And that kind of happened when I was 12, and after my brother passed, I kind of really put effort into that, and I kind of really made it my mission to make him proud and to make my dad proud, and I kind of knew what I had in my hands. But at that age, you never know how good you're gonna get, and you never know what's gonna happen. So I just kind of dedicated myself, and then, you know, when we met each other, I was still fully dedicated, but I still hadn't achieved, you know, anything really. And I think like for me, like in life, when you try,